Hi everybody, this is Danny Class. A while ago I was just kind of noodling around and exploring some new ideas, and I was kind of dissatisfied with what I'd been doing. I think I was hitting a plateau with modal harmony, with going through diatonic chords in various progressions, and even doing my bag of tricks of messing with things and kind of changing chord voicings, and it didn't seem to be working for me very well. And so instead, I thought to myself, well, I've heard of tonal harmony and I've probably used it, but what if I took a chord tone, a chord root, and we'll just say C, and just played a bunch of different kind of C chords and see what would happen. No pun intended. Find out what would happen. And I did, and I was pretty satisfied with the result. And so I thought, maybe I should do a lesson about this. So that's what we're talking about today. This idea that taking any chord and not going to other chords, but staying within kind of that chord tone family and seeing what would happen as long as we have sort of the basic rule of chords, which is that, well, the lowest note should be the root note. Okay, so with that in mind, I'm going to show you some chords in C that all have C as the root note, so we'll think of them as C chords. But they can really kind of give you some different melodies and harmonic movements up top in the higher pitches that I think you will find interesting and can be useful just for your own compositional playing and just for your own practice. Okay, so the ones I kind of stumbled upon that I thought would work well are going to be C major 7, and I'm going to play these chords in two voicings to show you. So they're going to be C major 7, C6 9, and C minor 11. Okay, so here is the first C major 7 voicing. Here is the C6 9 voicing. And here is the C minor 11 voicing. I'm playing them arpeggio, but it really doesn't matter. I've mentioned this in other lessons. You can play them however you want. Okay, so the second one I'll show you, C major 7 will be here. The C6 9 chord will be here. And the C minor 11 chord will be here. And this one's a little, not tricky, but I just need to explain it because I'm barring across the third fret, but I am not playing that low G on the 6th string because that would kind of break the rule of what we're doing. So for the sake of convenience, just for the hand position, my finger's barred, but actually I'm playing it from the 5th string down. So here's that C minor 11. Okay, and so how to kind of make this your own, this is where just once you have these three chords, you can do so much. But what I would say is just kind of feel it. And I mean, they're very jazzy. I mean, they don't have to be, of course, but they're very jazzy. They're complicated chords with lots of different notes. So let's kind of just, think of it that way. But I mean, the label's kind of silly, isn't it? I mean, it's just music, so it doesn't have to be like, oh, this is jazz or not, even though it might sound jazzy. So I'll go kind of off the intro. C major 7, and then I'll play C6 9 and C minor 11, and we'll find out what happens. So that's just one example. I really like it because it just kind of, for my mind, kind of messes with things because I've been doing so much modal harmony, and this is just all with different Cs. And I do like the idea of going from a major to a minor. I mean, because this is a major chord, the C6 9 is a major chord, but the C minor 11 isn't. So it's different sounding it's an E flat right here is that minor that's so kind of characteristic, along with though that 4th or the 11th. Just gives it a different flavor, but still it's still a C chord, which I think is really cool. Okay, and let's try it in the first voicing down here. First position voicing. It's okay. Actually, there's another C major 7 voicing here you can do instead also. Another way to practice maybe is just play both voicings of each individual chord and just see what happens. I didn't try this before, so we'll see. Okay, so as I was thinking about how to extend this lesson, the first thing that I would say is you can always add to chords and see what happens. So for example, this C major 7 chord, if you can, I talked about this in another lesson, but if you put this part of your finger here on that high B, very characteristic note because that is the major 7 itself, that makes things interesting. The C6-9 chord, I mean, you have a pinky, and so again, you can always throw it in and see what happens. What's the worst that happens if you don't like it? Just don't play it. But you've got some available notes here. All off the C6-9. That's still C chords. They're just messed with. And, the C minor 11 too. You have a flat E here with your pinky on the first string. Well, that's a flat, that's an E flat. That's the minor, very characteristic note. You could throw that in. Okay, so hopefully you found the lesson useful, and also hopefully it'll inspire you to kind of do the same thing with other chords. Take maybe a chord you're familiar with. I'll take a G chord and try a kind of harmonic progression, but still make it all in with that G at the lowest note. A bunch of G chords, just different kinds. Let's see what happens. Of course, it always helps to know the fretboard, to have memorized the fretboard and to know where those, in this case, where the G is and how to make other chords. Okay, so hopefully you found the lesson useful as a way to kind of, break out of the norm when it comes to making some interesting harmonic things. And I will see you next time. Stay well. Please remember to subscribe. Bye-bye.